The last time the Chiefs won a playoff game before 2015 was January of 1994. To paint that picture a little clearer, Bill Clinton was president, Schindler's List won Best Picture at the Academy Awards, and Whitney Houston won Album of the Year. It's needless to say, but when the Chiefs went down to Houston for the 2015 Wildcard game, a win was a long time coming. To ease the mind of Chiefs Kingdom, what they needed to do was score, and wouldn't hurt if it came early.
The 2015 Kansas City Chiefs are already a team of history. 10 straight victories, a franchise record, and only the second team in the history of the league to make the playoffs after a 1-5 start.
Everything that's in here. Okay. Every snap.
Now, where does this story go? Does the history of this team end today? Or is there another remarkable chapter to be written? It's the Texans and the remarkable, unforgettable 2015 Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City, you're the visitors. What's your call?
Heads.
Heads is the call. Heads is the call. It is tails. Houston's won the toss. The further choice in the second half. With the ball was hidden. I want to go first. Why? No, go. Let it fall in place.
The 11 best games of the year to crown one champion. Off we go with the playoffs.
Taken by Niall Davis. He's going to bring it out between the hash and numbers on the left side. 15 breaks free. He's at the 30. He's at the 40. He's at midfield. Niall Davis. There's his 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Kansas City. A 106-yard kickoff return right out of the gate.
That's one way to shut the crowd out. An opening 105-yard return by Niall Davis, and Andy Reid loves it.
I'll tell you, that's a great way to start it. He's been so close on so many of them. And for him just to bust one out, nobody was going to catch him. He's faster than all get out, so nobody was going to catch him. He did a great job.
We had a good feeling this whole week that we could make something happen. We haven't had one this whole year, and it was good to finally get one.
Did you even get touched on that?
Didn't get touched. I might have got slipped, but I didn't get. It was pretty cool.
It was a perfectly blocked return. Before Davis reached the 5-yard line, his blockers had walled off the right side of the Texans' coverage unit, eliminating 6 players from the play. Anthony Sherman, Spencer Ware, and Demetrius Harris cleared out the remaining defenders, and the former high school track star used his 4.3 speed to reach the fastest acceleration of the playoffs, with NFL's next-gen stats clocking Davis at a top speed of 22.11 miles per hour. Although Niall Davis went untouched on the first score of the game, the Chiefs' offense would not get off so easy. Houston finished the 2015 season with the #1 ranked defense in the NFL, led by one of the most dominant defensive players of recent memory. At 6'6" and nearly 300 pounds, J.J. Watt can take over a game at will. Entering the game with a league-high 17.5 sacks, Kansas City would certainly have their hands full in containing the 4-time All-Pro defensive end.
You're not going to win every battle against J.J. Watt. You're talking about Defensive Player of the Year, a 2-timer. So the one thing you can do is battle against them, and I thought our guys did that. He got us a few times, but on the other hand, we did a pretty good job there.
They're going to bring it on a jet sweep right side. Albert Wilson gets a block from Kelsey. 40, lowers the shoulder and drags 2 Texans.
They're not even going to block J.J. Watt, Mike. That's one way to drive a defensive end crazy. Quick passes, zone reads, and jet sweeps, taking J.J. Watt away early.
Snap back to Alex Smith, looking left. Now he's throwing long. He's looking for Albert Wilson, and then, the pass is just by the fingertips of Wilson on the left side. He was open. If that pass is on the money, it would have been a Chiefs touchdown.
I mean, Albert and me missing that post, I thought would have changed the game. I mean, you miss it by a foot. And with the defense like that, you got to try to be opportunistic. They're going to win theirs, but you just got to be able to hit yours when you do have the opportunity.
The first quarter had reached the halfway point, and things would only get uglier as both teams traded interceptions.
And Houston desperately needed that turnover.
Spurred by the Chiefs' mishap, the Texans' offense began to show signs of life.
Boyer, Hopkins. Did he get the second foot down? I don't think so. Let's see. They're going to rule it a catch.
Unbelievable.
Blue, stretch play right. and gets to the first wall and now the second. Cuts it back in midfield, breaks a tackle. Only Peters can get him. 25-20, Peters slows him down, and they finally drag him down. He's all the way down to the Kansas City 13-yard line.
Did they need that 50-yard run? Wow. But here comes J.J. Watt on offense, and Vince Wilfork is coming on the field to play offense for the Texans.
This was not the first time J.J. Watt had been placed on offense during a goal line situation. During the 2014 season, Watt hauled in 3 receiving touchdowns, all from within the 5-yard line. And while he had yet to reach the end zone on offense in 2015, that would not stop O'Brien from attempting to get his greatest defensive weapon into the end zone.
Watt was a high school quarterback until his junior year. He takes it, runs behind Wilfork, and gets stopped. Second effort, he's going to lose 2 yards.
Get that out of here, boy! What do you think it is?
And credit Kansas City. They knew exactly where that ball was going.
On the first and goal inside the 2, whose decision was it?
Mine. Next question.
On first and goal, the Texans came out in the Wildcat formation. 2 tight ends, 6 offensive linemen, a fullback, and 2 defensive linemen, with Watt in the shotgun. The plan was to get the Defensive Player of the Year into the end zone with help from his fellow defensive lineman, the 325-pound Vince Wilfork. But the Chiefs' defense had other plans. Alan Bailey and Frank Zombo neutralized their blockers at the point of attack, closing off the right side of the line and leaving Watt with just 1 hole to attack, which Derek Johnson filled in typical fashion, bolting into the Texans' backfield and submarining the makeshift ball carrier for a loss. The Chiefs had now denied Watt on both sides of the ball. But on second and goal, the Texans still had just 3 yards to go. Despite dominating Houston for much of the game, Kansas City's 13-point lead was looking more vulnerable by the second.
Second and goal to go, Houston at the Kansas City 3. Snap. Looking right. Now he fires at the end zone. It's picked off. It's picked off by Maga. Trying to get free. And he's trying to get away from Texans. He's got it to the 23-yard line. The Houston Texans throw a pick at the goal line.
Don Terry Poe broke through there, put the pressure on Hoyer, and he made a terrible decision under duress.
It was just a bad decision. I think, for me, I got to be smarter about that play. And I saw blue flash and definitely took points off the board, and that's on me.
Only the Carolina Panthers had a better giveaway takeaway ratio than the Chiefs all season.
The Texans are very fortunate to be just down 13, but still this team has shown in tighter games the ability to come back offensively in the fourth quarter. So let's watch how they close this first half.
With time, loads up, throwing long. He wants Nate Washington. It's intercepted on an overthrow. Peters has it. 4 turnovers by the Texans.
25 seconds to go. Defense and special teams can win championships, and that's why they're booing Hoyer.
Listen to this crowd. Kansas City has taken the crowd out of the game and turned them against the Texans. Let's see if matters change in the second half.
And so the Chiefs take a 13-0 lead into the half in Houston. And BJ, not only a great way to start this game, but remember, this was the start of the NFL playoffs. What a way to start the NFL playoffs.
It was. And for Chiefs fans, you kind of hear everybody collectively exhale 11 seconds into the game. You think about those 8 straight playoff losses. Everybody's a little nervous. Niall Davis kind of put everybody at ease early into this game.
Yeah, it gave the Chiefs a 7-0 lead, and then it was all defense the rest of the half.
It was. That's the story of this, not just this game, but particularly the first half, was the Chiefs defense. The Texans offense had 7 possessions in the first half. 4 of those ended with a turnover, 3 of them by interception. Brian Hoyer finished the first half 7 of 14 for just 61 yards. 40% of the Texans offense in the first half came on 1 Alfred Blue run. And you look at what the Chiefs defense was doing, taking the ball away. I mean, these guys were out there making plays, and you saw how fans were letting Brian Hoyer know how they felt about his performance down there in Houston. It's no surprise that the Texans gave Brock Osweiler $72 million this offseason to come down there and be under center for Bill O'Brien's offense.
Mike, I'll bet Andy Reid told his Chiefs at halftime, let's put these guys away. 2 years ago, they had a big lead coming out of the locker room against the Colts, couldn't hang on.
Winning a playoff game in the National Football League is no small feat. 32 teams enter, and by the end of December, only 12 remain. A single elimination tournament where winner takes all. One mistake can send a team packing, leaving only the promise of next season. And in a league where players come and go, and coaching staffs are frequently overhauled, the chance of having a team of the same playoff caliber is slim. The Kansas City Chiefs had become all too familiar with this routine. 22 years of frustration had led them to this moment. With a chance to break a curse that spanned over 2 decades, they weren't going to let this opportunity evade them for another season.
To Spencer Ware. John Simon waiting, Garrett Griffin waiting. 8.5 yard J.J. Watt, who rarely comes off the field, is limping after that play. That last play picked up a first down, so from the 22 it's Smith. Flushed. On the run, he rolls and throws, complete. Jeremy Maclin, gain of 15 yards.
Watt's absence was evident soon after. On first down, Alex Smith rolled to his right, looking for an open receiver downfield. As he left the pocket, he was briefly hurried by Watt's replacement, Brandon Dunn, but easily evaded the pressure before completing a pass downfield for a first down. The 16-yard completion gave the Chiefs offense some breathing room midway through the third quarter. But as the drive progressed, the offense would be struck by a familiar foe.
J.J. Watt returns to the Texans defense to try to stop Alex Smith.
Press coverage on the outside on Wilson. Alex Smith takes the snap. Watt coming after him. Now he throws right side. Caught by Maclin. Peels to his right shoulder. Now turns back left, and then he is smothered at the 45-yard line. It's still a gain of 7. And there's an injured player. It's J.J. Watt again. He came back in for 1 snap and went down.
We also have a Chiefs player hurt on the far side of the 45-yard line as well.
Jeremy Maclin, I believe, is being tended to right now, and they're being very, very cautious with him. They have not moved him since he went down.
2 of the best players in this game injured on the same play and in a ton of pain.
Injuries are an unfortunate fact of life in professional football. Throughout 2015, the Chiefs were struck with devastating injuries to several key starters, losing linebackers Justin Houston and Tamba Hali for several weeks due to knee injuries. The offensive line also took a hit, finishing the season having employed 9 different starting combinations due to injury. Perhaps the most devastating came in Week 5, when running back Jamal Charles was lost for the season with a torn ACL. But through it all, the Chiefs overcame a 1-5 start, making it to the Wildcard round of the playoffs. And if they hope to walk away victorious, the Chiefs, as they had done all season long, would look to the mantra of next man up.
You know, we all kind of have to pick it up with a guy like that when he's not playing, when he's missing. We all got to pick up the slack. I don't think it's any one person, but us collectively.
Shotgun snap back to Smith. Throws a crossing pattern. Kelsey with room. 50-yard line, 45. High steps all the way down to the Texan 39.
13-0 Chiefs lead. This is a run for Spencer Ware. Inside the 30.
Kelsey is doing it all. That time he came across the formation through a critical block.
Texans crowd the line of scrimmage. Chiefs get the snap off just in time. Play action fake. Smith throws for the end zone. Caught. Chris Conley. Touchdown. Kansas City. Chris Conley, the rookie, tastes the sweet nectar of the end zone on a perfect play action throw by Alex Smith.
The touchdown pass from Smith to Conley seemed flawless in its execution, as if it had been practiced routinely throughout the season. But in fact, the route was designed for Jeremy Maclin and had never even been repped by the rookie receiver out of Georgia.
It's kind of one of those things where you come out, you got to read the defense and find the open spot. And so he was kind of throwing that ball to a spot. Luckily, me and Alex were on the same page because that was a very tight window. And really great job by Alex. And the run fake was able to pull the safeties down. We were able to get the ball over the top of him.
You feel like you've done that play exactly with him in practice, or?
No, I haven't. So it was good that we were able to execute that today out there on the field. That play call wasn't for me.
You know, we hadn't even really repped that full speed with him in there. Those are all Jeremy's looks, and so, but for him to come in and not even blink and come make the catch like he did, big play by him there.
And when you come in and replace a man like Jeremy Maclin in the playoffs, that's big time.
Second down and 4 for Kansas City. Alex Smith will throw, sidestepping from under center. Now steps up, darts right, now in trouble, pump faking, and now moves outside the right, stays in bounds. Alex Smith is going to scramble for a first down. And there are very few quarterbacks, maybe Newton, and maybe Russell Wilson can make that play. Out of the shotgun. Now Alex Smith throws over the middle. Caught by Kelsey in a low catch. Inside the 35-30. Sprinting against the linebacker at the 20. And shoved out of bounds all the way down to the Texan 13-yard line.
And once again, Kansas City knocking on the door.
It is second down and goal to go. Jet sweep action. Handoff. Ware breaks a tackle inside the 5. Touchdown! Kansas City! Spencer Ware breaking tackles for 5. And a touchdown, and the Chiefs have exploded to a 26-0 lead.
I didn't anticipate this, but I love it.
Hey, tell me about it, partner. But the Chiefs have got to finish this job. Last playoff victory was in this town 22 years ago. Houston has first and 10 at its own 8-yard line. The Chiefs breathing fire, digging in. Hoyer from his own end zone to throw. Throws over the middle. Hopkins, it's intercepted. Picked up by Sean Smith. Another interception. That's 4 if you're keeping track in the kingdom.
We're not messing around. They done messed up like the wrong team inside the big dance.
They're taking the fans right out of the stadium, too.
Oh, what they're doing is putting the Chiefs fans in the lower bowl.
Chiefs leading the fans who are here doing the chop. It is a takeover. As Alex Smith's day is done and Chase Daniel is in a quarterback.
Chiefs can go to a knee. Chase Daniel takes the snap from Daniel Munyer. Kansas City has beaten the Houston Texans 30-0. And the big red coach with the big red mustache has liberated the Chiefs' kingdom from 8,028 days in the wilderness without a postseason win. Because for the first time in 22 years, the Chiefs are headed to the other side of the river and are advancing in the AFC playoffs.
Hey, just for all those fans that showed up, baby, how about those?
So it's a 30-0 rout down in Houston for the Chiefs' first playoff win in 22 seasons. That's after 8 straight playoff losses. This one had to feel good, BJ.
It did, but just to see the fans that were down there start doing the chop, it was a beautiful sight. Andy Reid leaving the field, doing the chop with the fans, something I'm always going to remember. But I remember leaving the press box and trying to find Mitch Holthus, because our guy, we know how much this meant to him. He had been here since '94. He had lived all those playoff losses. Saw the Hunt family, how excited they were. It was more than just one victory. I mean, there was a lot riding on this game. There was a lot of pressure, all the weight of all those losses. Just to see everybody so excited, something I'm always going to remember.
Yeah, BJ, you mentioned the Hunt family. This is why the Hunt family brought John Dorsey and Andy Reid on board in 2013. This playoff win is what they were working towards.
It is, and it's not just one playoff win. Let's make sure that their goals were bigger than that. But they stayed the course. They believed in what Andy Reid was saying, and they're always going to be remembered and used as that example now. Even if you start slow or you think you might be out of it, that if you just trust in your coach, trust in the guy next to you, that you can overcome certain things. And it always sounds like a cliche, but we actually saw that with the Chiefs team this season. That's how they're always going to be remembered, to overcome something like they did. Pretty special.
A comeback win for the ages, the first playoff win in 22 seasons, something certainly you could build upon for 2016.